All right. So if you thought the first episode of Project Praylay was a wild ride, you are not ready for this. The second episode, Knock All, which means copy, doesn't just turn up the heat, it completely blows the doors off. So let's just dive right in and break down all the absolutely stunning reveals from this chapter. You know, this episode wastes zero time getting to the good stuff. We are dropped straight into the middle of the mystery. You've got Arjun sitting in a car with Dr. Mira, and they're watching this grainy CCTV footage, and on the screen, it's a man who looks exactly like him breaking into a house. But as Arjun says, completely baffled, that's me, but I'm right here. It's happening at the exact same time, so how is that even possible?
Dr. Mira just immediately shuts down any logical explanation you might be thinking of. This isn't some pre-recorded tape, it's not some kind of elaborate visual effect. She looks at him and says, flat out, no, that's not you. The person you see on that screen, he's another subject. A living, breathing copy, and his designation is Subject 2. And just like that, boom, the entire game has changed.
So that bombshell leads us to our first huge info drop, where Dr. Mira finally spills the beans on what Project Praylay actually is, and more importantly, what Arjun's role in it is.
Okay, so what in the world is Project Praylay? Well, according to Mira, it was this super secret project that kicked off about 15 years ago. And its goal? It's terrifying. They wanted to create the perfect soldier, someone who's absolutely unstoppable, follows every order without question, and has zero emotions. And how'd they plan to do it? By making copies from a single original person. And the scale of this whole thing is just wow. I mean, they didn't just make one or two of these guys, no. They made a total of 7 subjects from that one original source. That means there are 7 identical men out there, and our guy, Arjun, is one of them. But here's the thing. These aren't just simple carbon copies. Yeah, they're biological clones, but there's a huge catch. The project only gave them partial, selective memories. Think about what that means. Every single clone got different training, which led to a different personality, and they were each built for a totally different purpose. So in reality, they're basically 7 different people who just happen to wear the same face. So now that Arjun's head is spinning with the fact that he's one of 7, he's got to face the most immediate problem. Is the guy he saw on that camera, Subject 2, a friend or an enemy? And that brings us to the next massive part of this episode. Arjun finally meets his double, who introduces himself as Veer, and let me tell you, it is instantly clear that they are night and day. Arjun, who we now know as Subject 7, has just been woken up, and he's now the #1 target. But Veer, Subject 2, he's been awake for 3 years. He actually escaped and has been trying to blow the whistle on the whole operation. The most important thing to get here is that while they have the same DNA, their lives have shaped them into 2 completely different people. And then Veer just drops another bomb. Director Kaul isn't just some rogue agent running a secret project. Oh no. He's getting these clones ready to be weapons for an even bigger, more powerful, and way more shadowy group called Yamakor. Veer says these are the people who literally decide which countries get to survive. So we've just jumped from a Black Ops project to a full-blown global conspiracy. The stakes just went through the roof. And things get personal. Fast. Veer tells him that Director Kaul has activated the other 5 clones. And what's their mission? Hunt down and kill Arjun. You can just see the horror sinking in for Arjun when he says it out loud. 5 people. My face, my powers. They're coming to kill me. He is literally being hunted by himself. This leads us right into the first clone-on-clone fight. And this is a huge test for Arjun, not just for his fighting skills, but for whether he can actually think for himself and go beyond what he was programmed to do. The attack happens in a flash. They're at Veer's hideout when they get ambushed by Subject 4. And this guy, he's described as a pure machine. No emotion, no free will, just his programming. He is the perfect soldier that Project Praylay always wanted to create. The fight instantly becomes a stalemate. Every single move Arjun makes, Subject 4 counters it perfectly. It's like he's fighting his own reflection. Arjun can't figure out how it's happening until Veer yells the answer at him. Because he is you, only the programming is different. They've got the same body, the same muscle memory, the same training. How do you win a fight like that?
So how does he break out of it? He stops thinking like a soldier. He stops relying on his programming. Instead of using another trained move, he just improvises. He does something totally new right there in the moment. He grabs Subject 4 and literally reverses the energy attack back into him. It's an unpredictable move, something that wasn't in their shared playbook, and it works. Arjun doesn't win because he's a better fighter. He wins because he's finally becoming his own person.
The fight might be over, but believe me, this episode is not done with us yet. The last few minutes deliver a series of twists that just completely change everything we thought we knew about this story.
So Arjun calls in his deal with Veer. He wants to know the name of the original subject, the man they were all copied from, and Veer tells him it was the scientist who created the whole project, a man named Dr. Vikram Mehra. And right there, your brain makes the connection, right? Arjun's last name is Mehra, the original's last name is Mehra. It has to mean that Arjun and all the others, they're clones of his own father, doesn't it? It seems like the perfect, tragic answer. But in this absolutely brilliant move, this show lets you believe that for a split second, before yanking the rug right out from under you. What seems like the most logical conclusion, it is completely wrong. Because we then cut to Director Kaul's office. He's looking at a picture of Dr. Vikram Mehra, and he says, almost to himself, "But your son, he is walking right to us." Notice the word son, not clone. He's talking about an actual son.
And here it is, the final incredible twist, all laid out. The picture that Kaul is holding, it's Dr. Vikram Mehra, and he looks nothing like Arjun. So here's the truth. Arjun is not a clone. He is the scientist's actual biological son. Director Kaul knows Dr. Mehra is alive and hiding somewhere, and he is using Arjun as bait to draw him out.
So it all comes down to this. Arjun started the whole episode asking, "Who am I?" And for the very first time, he gets an answer. But it's not from a clone. It's not from a scientist. It's a mysterious voice that says, "You are my son, Arjun, and I am coming." What an unbelievable cliffhanger. It reframes the entire story. This is no longer about a clone trying to find his identity. Now it's about a son being used as a pawn to find his father. The central question just completely shifted from who is the original to where is the father? Wow.